Alrighty, let's talk about mobile first. And what mobile first basically means is that you start with the content hierarchy being focused on mobile first, and also you code it so that you're coding the mobile version first. This actually increases the page speed a tiny bit, and it helps kind of make sure that you're putting the emphasis on mobile first. Depending on the site, I think most sites have like 85% of the views are from mobile. So it's pretty giant to consider. And it's not too hard once you get the hang of things. So what we're gonna do is I have all the content and images already in a folder, and I'm just gonna go through and kind of get this stuff set up. So I'm just gonna grab the text. Let's see. I'm gonna clear all this out because I just sort of pasted it in first and then decided I should move it. So I'm gonna get rid of all this stuff. So semantic tags. I want to have a header where I'm going to have the sort of title and subtitle. So I'm going to paste it in and I'm going to say, here's my H1. And then I'm going to call this my H2. Whoop. H2. Okay, there's my header. So just getting content in first. Below the header, I'm going to have a main section. And this is going to be all my content. And I need to kind of think about things like take into consideration how things are going to be on desktop. So I'm going to actually have, this is going to be called a feature section. And then this is going to be just news thumbnails. So first I'm going to have a section. I'm going to give it a class called feature. And in that, it's going to have that image of the cat and then this text. I'll just grab it. Oh, yeah, actually I do. I want to grab all the text because I'm going to hide this, but I still want it to be there. So I'm going to copy this, paste it in. This is my header. You don't want to have more than one H1 on a page, so I'm going to call this an H2. And then this one, I'm going to give it a paragraph, and I think I'm going to give it some sort of name. I'm going to give it a class of, I guess it's like a subhead. Okay, and then paragraph, I'm going to call this, I don't know, article tidbit. Article tidbit. Okay, and then I'm going to close it. Okay, so here's our first section. Okay, looking good. Then, oh, and my image is going to go right above this, right? Cat image. So I'll have these for you to use. So if you want to just use this example and use this content for your homework assignment. So they're in a folder called images. I am out here in index.html. So I want to say, go into the images folder. And I'm just going to if you click rename, it's easier to paste the name because I'm a typoer. Okay, there's my cat. Before I forget, I'm going to give it an alt tag just in case either the cat doesn't show up or I have someone who is visually impaired who's using a screen reader. The alt tag is what will be read to them. So I'll say photo of a cat playing with a cat toy. Okay, there's my alt. And then now my other section is going to be called news thumbs, I guess. Okay, close that section. All right, so news thumbs, it's going to be a grid on the other, on the desktop view, but in this view, we want it just one thing at a time. So I think I'll put each article in its own little div box. Okay, so here's div number 1. just give it a class of, actually, you know what? I'm going to use the article tag. Article, because that's what it's for. Okay, article. Probably could have done a little more templating. I'll do that because I'm just going to end up. Okay, so this one also has an image. Let's just steal, these. And now that I'm thinking about it, I need to put this all in an article as well. Okay, so I'm going to paste this in. I'm going to change this to, let's see, what's the second one? Second one is first picture of sun-like star. Let me grab that. Okay. Okay, this goes into the subhead. Okay, clean that up. Subhead. Okay, oop, that needs a closing paragraph. Did I mix? Yep, I messed that up too. Okay, closing paragraph. Cool. Okay, while we're thinking about it, we want to put this in an article. Let's think about this. We're going to split this up eventually into two. This will be, the image will be one side. Okay, the image is going to end up being one side and the content is going to be in another side. So I'm going to use divs and I'm going to say div, and then I'm going to give it a class of feature image. Wrap that just around the image. And then I'm going to have a div with a class of feature content. And I'm going to wrap that around all the content in here. Okay, there's my section. So this I'll be able to turn into 2 columns later. I'm not going to worry about indenting too much. Okay. Oh, I can't help it. See? I can't help myself. All right, all better. All right, so image H1. These ones we don't really have to worry about, so I'm not going to bother. They're all going to be in 3 separate articles like this. Okay, I have fixed that paragraph. Let's copy this, paste it 2 more times. This one becomes, the second one is solar, wait. Oh, this one I have to change to images / unlike solar system. It says feature because, or feat, because it was a feature article on the site I stole it from. Okay, and then I want to change this. I'll just, photo of sun-like star. I'll try to be fast now and not do as good of a job. Okay, so that one's done. This one becomes, what's the second one? It's the micro flyer feet. Micro flyer feet.jpg. Photo of microflyer. Okay. I'll grab the content in a minute. I just want to do images. Images, whale song feet. Okay. Photo of whale. Okay, now I want to grab this content. So let's see, I'll just put it here and then tiny airplanes reach, cut, paste. Okay, tiny sunlight powered air, blah, 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 airplanes reach. Light is all that's needed. Making sure the tags, there's a opening paragraph and a closing. Okay, now let's do the whale. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll just put it in the paragraph first and then grab the header, put that here. Okay, fin whale. Okay, paragraph. H2, everything looks like it's in order. Whale song, photo of a whale, microflyer, microflyer image, check, check, check. Orbit, I should probably put paragraphs. I don't care. Whatever. I'll let the content editor complain to me. The imaginary content editor. H2, paragraph. Okay. Images. Okay, looks good. So now we've got a site that we have not added any style to whatsoever. And here it is. So I can already tell I want these images to be 100% width so that they fill up the space. But I'm going to show you a tool in the inspect tools. So if you right click on your screen and you say inspect, there's a very handy tool right here. This sucker is the it's I guess it's called the device toolbar, but it's a responsive tool. So I can now see, and you can kind of smush this down as much as you can. Now I can see what it's going to look like. So if I move to iPhone X, it's going to look like this. So I need to do some fixing already with CSS. And if it's in desktop, we don't really care, but responsive, you can basically use responsive. And I made my screen 1440, so we can kind of use that size. So let's add CSS and start making this thing look better. I'm going to leave this in iPhone X mode. And I haven't linked a CSS file yet, so I guess I have to make a CSS file first. New file, style.css. Oops. Style.css. Add it. Okay. I just want to make sure that it's linked, so I'm going to do a little test. I'm going to say background is red, and then I know if I link my file, so link style.css. So I don't need to say CSS. There's no CSS folder in here. It's just index going straight to the style.css file, right? So let's see if that works. Refresh. All right, there we go. We know our style is linked up. So let's take care of that. Let's make sure we're using that star box. Oops, I always do that. Box sizing border box. Okay, and then let's look at I should probably add my fonts. Maybe I'll do that last, but let's get everything else in. I don't want to take too much time. So let's look at, we don't care about desktop. Let's look at the size of the H1 in mobile is 32. The H2 is 20 in the header, and then it looks like the H2 for the rest of it is, I made it 18. Okay, 18. I want to make it 20. 20 in bold. Yeah, so I'm going to do 20 in bold for all the other H2s. So let's start doing that. So, oops. Okay, so H1 on mobile, font size 32 pixels. And I know that I also gave it a line height of, I think, 42 pixels. Maybe it's like 38. H2. So the font size is going to be 20 pixels everywhere. But in the header, the H2 isn't going to be bold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all the H2s font size 20 pixels and font weight bold. But for inside the header, I'm going to say if it's an H2 inside the header, then make the font weight normal. So I'm kind of saying in this instance, just make it normal, but everything else make the H2 bold. Okay, the body font size for everything is going to be font size of 20 pixels, so I can put that in there. What else? For fonts, line height for the H2. I believe I just made it 22 pixels, so pretty tight. Let's think about padding margin. So the images are 100% wide, and the content has a bit of margin on either side. Oh, I also haven't put the read more buttons in yet. So let's do that. So first of all, we want to say if I'm an image, I'll put it here. Make me 100% wide of whatever I'm in, whatever container I'm in. Make me 100%. Let's go look at the text. So that's going to mean, ooh, look at that typo. Okay, feature image is going to be 100% wide, but feature content is going to have a bit of margin. So I think what I'll do is I'll say, I'll just get this done. Feature content. Make it 90%, and then make it margin auto. Then I don't have to I don't want to futz with pixel size. I want it to be pretty stretchy, but to be almost the whole width of the page. Okay, and then the same thing goes for the rest. I want them to all be the same as that. So let's look at this. Might have to think about this for a second. So article is going to have to be 100% because we need the image to be 100%. But the H2 and the paragraph need to be 90%. And we're going to also have a button. So I'm tempted. I could go two ways. I could put all the content other than the image in another div and just make that div be the margin, or I can call out if it's in an article and it's H2 or a paragraph, then put it in, make it be a width of 90%. And I need to think about how this might end up being on desktop. I'm going to wrap this in a div class content. I'll just call it a card. It's kind of like a card. Okay, I'm going to wrap it in a div because I think in the long run it'll be easier. Okay, content card. H2 div content card. Div. Okay. H2 content card. Okay, content card. And then this one we don't have to worry about, right? Div, because it's already in feature content. Okay, feature content and content card. Okay. So actually, let's cheat, and we're going to say feature content and comma content dash card are all going to be this. So by making this one slightly less specific, I guess I could still call it specifically in the feature area. This is saying find the feature content class that lives in the feature class. And this one is just saying find anything called content card. So let's see if that's looking a little better. Oops. Okay, so I've got my font sizes working. The line height seems to be working. I don't have I'm not using a Meyer reset, which kind of takes out all the extra margin on stuff. I also haven't gotten rid of that margin that happens on the body, so I'm going to get rid of that here. I'm going to say margin 0. Okay. There, now the images are stretching 100%. And all the content, it looks like it's 90% with auto margins. It's just the H1 and the H2 on top are not. So let's look at that HTML. So this one looks pretty easy because there's nothing in here except for the H2 and H1. So we'll just say everything in the header. I could always change that later if I need it be, if I end up adding an image or something into the header. But for now, we can just say width of 90%, margin auto, and that'll center it. Okay, there we go. So I'm not going to do fonts because I realized it's already 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to stop here. So this is mobile first. This is what we want to do first. I'm going to just go ahead and put the read me buttons in, and then or read more buttons in, and then the next video I'll do how you add media queries to then add desktop layout. All right, see you in a sec.